Hello, friends. Has India changed its foreign policy today? If we look back, non aligned policy was the main principle of the country right from 1947 till this date. What happened that all of a sudden there's a change in the foreign policy and from non aligned it is getting alliances with various countries, be it a Quad or be it a USA. Now, this non alliance or non aligned policy, foreign policy, to my mind, is nothing but a policy of isolation. Why it has happened? Was it a was it a decision made by the politicians or it was due to compulsion? What happened is that in 2017, Doklam incident took place when Chinese troops came so close to the chicken neck of India that they had the full capability to cut it. They cut all the eastern states from India. That was extremely dangerous. And the call for the awakening of the mind of the politicians to change the isolation policy, there's a foreign policy, to a policy of alliances. As a result, as a result, after June 2017, the politicians as well as diplomats acted very fast and accurately and sensibly, which resulted the initiation of Quad. That is the Quad, which now it is being called a mini NATO as defined by the Foreign Ministry of China. Not only this Quad, but in addition, there are also alliances by agreement and legal agreement has been executed when the state secretary and the defense secretary of USA arrived within a very short time, and during that time when their presence was very much required in their own country because of the election of the president. But they did not lose the time, and as a result, India at the same time ready signed very important agreements. Through of this agreement, the transfer of technology of the defense equipments and of the intelligence technology of the latest nature. That was so much high technology not seen in any other parts of the world except in USA or in Israel. That level of technology is now forthcoming to India, means that if you are sitting in New Delhi or in Washington, you would be able to see the movements, the troops taking place in China as well as in Pakistan, just in front of your computer. Now, this situation has risen means that there is a change in the policy, that is the foreign policy. Now, the country has now been, why this policy became so necessary all of a sudden? Is it due to the conscious change of mind or there was certain compulsion? I think there was a compulsion and a stop stopgap arrangement were made. That is, the wide gap between India and China, who is aggressively showing its trends on our borders, not only in Doklam, but at the same time showing and have already acted in Ladakh after 3 years in May 2020 shows a clear mindset and the decisions of Chinese at our border. What they have in mind, how it's being threatened to the integrity of country, how the borders have become so much insecure. It became important for the country to make it sure that they are secure and the integrity of the country is maintained and sovereignty of the country under the constitution also stands fulfilled. Now, having signed these kind of agreements, which I say it is only a stopgap arrangement because of the difference of the potentiality between China and India in regard to defense resources as well economic resources, which is 5 times more than India. No doubt that these kind of alliances have changed the scenario and changed the perception of India. India today is looking a much more mighty and powerful country because of the alliances with the most powerful countries in the world. One hand the Quad and the other is the USA. Now the question comes, what has it led to? One of the most important factor of the decision making of the politician I consider is that when the defense forces of India were allowed to be a partner in the decision making by creating the position of CDS, and quick result, fast result is in front of you. What has happened that after the CDS, many decisions have been taken to ensure that the boundaries of the country are secured much better. They have also created now a concept of 5 commandments, that means commanders, which is known theatrical commanders, which was not before. That each commander has been given specific responsibility to safeguard the borders, and that is the target given to each one of them. That is in the eastern, western, south, and north, and the central. The areas have been divided and clear cut instructions are there. They are going to be made as a combat every time, ready to fight and protect the boundaries of the country. Now, not only this, you will see it that these things, what we call 5 commandments, is a new idea. No, it is not a new idea or near thought. These things are already existing in USA as well as in China. But in India, it has taken place or has been initiated only in 2020, whereas the time demanded or the justice demanded or the wiseness demanded that it should have been enforced right after 1962. Humiliation came from China. But somehow or the other, our domestic politics is so dirty and so much confused that they could not integrate their mind what is happening in the rest of the world. And they continued to be all the time busy with their domestic dirty politics. There is a movie, its name is Dirty Politics. When I saw it, I found it so much closeness with our politics in the domestic field and what they are showing in the movie. It's a very, very poor state. But now, what has happened, what it should happen long time before. The important thing is, if you have heard it, you must have read it, few days back, that China, with the after the meeting of PLA and Communist Party of China, had given a target, have given a target to Jinping, that they, to their leaders, that what they have to do in the next 7 years. What is that target? They say that you have to make China stronger in defense, if not more than USA, but definitely equal to USA within the period of 7 years. Not only that, even they have given the target to the leadership that by 2035, China should be number one in the world by drilling USA to number two position. Now, no doubt these are targets being given. No doubt these are decisions of the meetings of the PLA and the Communist Party of China, which has given direction and goals to the leadership. But the question is, this happens or does not happen? But the target has been given. Have we ever thought? I put a question. Do you think that our leaders have been given targets like that? Target like that, that within the next so many years or within such and such time, you will make your actions in such a way that you would be able to take back the territory lost to China in 1962. But they have not given any target. There is not any other kind of targets also. The manifesto comes by the political parties by themselves to ensure that the public in the country are populous or popular decisions or the popular actions required, and as a result they should be able to get more and more seats so that they remain in power. But no doubt this has the desire to remain always in power has resulted that domestic politics became dirty and continued, and its efficiency in dirtiness increased sharply in the country. But at the same time, they never bother what is happening in the world, what is happening in the border next to them. They never allowed the masses to know how far China has progressed or is progressing, so that it should not affect their interest in the domestic politics. People were not here. Even the politicians were not competitive enough with the world leaders. So naturally, your growth is likely to be slow. It's a good decision that you're creating alliances, but at the same time, there's a bigger responsibility on the politician to be careful that they, instead of gaining, they may not lose it. This stopgap arrangement is a short and is likely to be short lived because in the international politics, what happened in the rest part of the world, it affects their commitments also. But this stopgap arrangement is a time and an opportunity for the country to make it sure that within short of time or span of time, maybe year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, how far the country, I'm talking about India, is able to close the gap with your most powerful neighbor, that is China. If you become very close, then believe it or not, whether China is good or bad, whether it's good aggressiveness or not, will be hesitant to play a role what it is playing now or has played in Doklam and now in Ladakh. And that fear will be over because we are weaker and we give a chances to them to act. Of course, this kind of alliance right now with the USA and other Quad, this is going to have an impact on other countries also in the Arabian Sea as well as the countries in the Indo-Pacific and South China Sea, which includes many Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and other many countries. They have some perception change that India is now not in isolation but is a mighty country which is likely to be a stronger with the day to day next span of time. They will be not on the military side also, but on the intelligence also. So everything what they do will not remain hidden from the eyes of Indians. So there is like to be careful or change or understanding and developing the maturity like what you see in Nepal, what his action reaction with the country are. This will cause a change, and I say it's a very good step. I would also really appreciate the present Indian leadership because they took a political decision by creating the position of CDS and which has resulted so fast and quick alliances with the rest of the world. Now, when we come to the next situation is that next point is regarding the democracy of the country. In order to remain competitive in the world and as well as in the domestic field, you have to make it sure that you are a democratic country. And naturally, there is a constitution which has to be followed. Unfortunately, our country, though democratic, but is not that much mature or qualitative as you find. The spirit of the democracy has borrowed from other countries like UK and USA. The common man is not understanding his duties and rights to the extent which you will see in other advanced countries. So, what is the problem? To my mind, there are problems with the pillars of the democracy. Our pillars of the democracies are shaking. They are very slow. They have not the quality. When I talk the quality of these pillars, I mean is the judiciary, the parliamentarians, legislatures, justice and law, the police, media, all these are the basic pillars for the success of a democracy in a vibrant way and in a much better way, in competitive way in the world. If we look to our these pillars, I ask a question: are you sure that our judiciary is at the top, is as good as you find in the most advanced countries? Are our police, law and justice is as good as you find over there from where we have borrowed the democracy and the constitution? What is happening with the parliamentarian? What is their standard? Look at it. All the parliamentarians, their quality needs to be improved. What I am saying is that instead of administering the nation at the micro level, it's better to use the energy, time, and money at the macro level. When I'm talking about the micro or the macro, I'm not talking from the perspective of the economics field, but I'm talking from the administration and political setup in the country related to the democracy and its existence, keeping in view the security of the country as a whole, so that the sovereignty of the country is maintained. We need to have that the quality of the judiciary, politician, media, police remains at the highest level. So let the administration focus on that. We make the best of the people, best of intelligent, intellectual people. When I say intellectual, I am not saying that what degree and grade they have got in the universities. But what I am saying is the mindset of the people who occupy the position, the judiciary, parliamentarians, and the police, and the law and order, justice forces. What is their mindset? Is it of quality or not? Or is it of integrity or not? Are they able to know and compare the facts and actions they take or the decision they make? Is it in the interest of the country or not? Does it make the country weak or slow? It does not matter how many slogans you say, Jai Hind or Jai Bharat Ki Mata, Jai Bharat Mata. There's nothing wrong in it. You must say it. It's a very important. It's the base which you should say it. But these are not enough. The important thing is where this Jai Hind and Jai Mata ends, where it leads us. What does it give? The results. That is the action. What activities we have, what our relationship is with the masses. Can you say that our police force is highly integrity, morally equipped? Can we say the politicians are morally high and equipped with their understanding and knowledge, or be a judiciary? But that does not mean they don't have it. They have. But you need the quality of these people at a highest level, competitive, competitive enough with the world. And unless and until you have, you would not be able to push the country forward competitive with a country like China or USA in the world. You have to give targets to the leaders to complete certain things within specific time, as you find many countries like China and others do. give targets and goals to the leaders. With this, I am closing my video. If you like it, please subscribe. When I say subscribe, it does not mean subscription. It means when you click on subscribe, my next video will reach you instantly as soon as is uploaded. Now, with this, I wish you and thank you again. And please be careful about your health and stay happy in this coronavirus environment. Thank you very much once more. May God bless you all.